And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
So, yo.
What do we not start with phones in our hand?
Say yo.
Oh, we saying
But
yo.
That's what you like. That don't mean that's what he like.
Don't say
Right.
yo,
You don't have to say yo.
It's
That's
a
what you
staple.
start.
It's a staple
For Daryl.
of
Not for-
AA.
no, it's
No,
not
it's
a
not.
staple.
It's not.
Drink that water and hush up.
It's not.
Feel
It's
threat.
for Daryl.
And this is how we start our family production. Welcome to AAY Podcast. It's the first, but not the last by any sort of the means. I'm one of your panel members, Molly Maul. It is a pleasure to be here with you, and we're going to get our rest of our panel to introduce themselves. Ladies, gentlemen.
I'll start. My name's Daryl Turner. I am the CEO of this beautiful organization, AAY. I'm excited because we finally, after some time, have gotten started with this awesome podcast, and we hope and pray that everybody out there enjoys. Oh, and we're going to go counter clockwise.
Yes.
So counter would be okay. There you go. There you go.
Hey y'all, hey. It's your girl Nicole Yvette. I'm new to the crew. I'm just happy to be here and excited to talk about some things.
Yes.
All right, now.
All right.
What's good, y'all? I'm a leader, and that's just who I am. What can I say? That is me, and that is she, and that's
Who you
it.
be?
Hey, I'm Yanni the Star, and I'm ready to get it started.
Yo, she always do the funny face. So today, guys, because it's our first episode, we really just wanted to introduce ourselves to the masses, but we also have a topic that we're going to talk about, and that topic is when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? And I'll kick it off, right? I think over time, my many faces have changed. That person in the mirror has become different every single time I looked in the mirror. All right, so I've become I went from being shy to a very confident individual over time. And that in itself took a lot of time, took some patience for me to grow. And I don't know if God would be proud. I'm sure he would. But I am proud of the person I am, and I'm proud of the person I'm becoming. So this topic is probably going to get a lot deeper as we go along. But yeah, for me, over time, that's typically what happens, I guess, if you're trying to grow and become a positive individual. You're going to wear many faces, and it's going to look different no matter how many times you look in that mirror. So yeah, for me, I think over time I've kind of put on a lot of different faces, looking into that mirror, So yeah, follow up, somebody.
Oh yeah, I mean, you said that you look in the mirror and you've seen the growth or the progress that that you become. I see the wrinkles. I see the wear and tear. I look at pictures from when I was younger, and then I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I'm a totally visually different person on the outside. But the thing is, I've grown so much that I am a completely different person on the inside as well. Yeah. But the mirror gives me a contrast. I get to see past and present, actively becoming who I am, actively being the me that I am now. And so being able to see me now and reference me from the past allows me to continue to create the me that I want to see in the future.
That's good. That's good. So let me ask, all right, let's start off with this. I'm going to ask some questions, and then you guys can answer the questions. That way we can start to lead into a good conversation around this topic. I think that'll help a lot. So first question is, when you look at yourself now, can you see the changes?
So I'm gonna finish. When I look in the mirror, when I was 9, I started out as a positive person, reciting poetry over Malcolm X gravesite. So I started out as a positive young sister. So when I look in there now, I see myself as a queen, and I want our sisters to be those queens. I see beauty, I see light, and that's what we want to share to our community. And this is all about you. So yes, do I see the growth? Definitely, yes. And I want to share that to the community, and this is why we're here, because it's all about you.
Ooh, bars.
Just gonna
Well, I
pass it.
definitely like that, and to bounce off what basically everybody is saying over the years. You go through different things, life be life, and all of that. But hopefully, sorry y'all, I have one of those voices. But hopefully you learn from every mistake, every trial, every good thing that you go through, and hopefully you can be proud of yourself. Sometimes I am a little shy, and some people say, like as an actress, how is that possible? I get to be a different person doing it, but again, with every trial, every mistake, every accomplishment, everything, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I see in the mirror. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I say, girl, you ain't have to say all that. You ain't have to do all that. But still, I like her. And my hope for everybody, our sisters, our brothers, our youth, is that everybody can do that same thing, can look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm a better version of myself today than I was yesterday.
Right.
Or half an hour ago, 5 minutes ago. Exactly. So yeah, goals.
I just heard something, and like maybe the audience can agree with me. You're an actress? That's amazing that we get introduced to you the first time, and I think we should kind of explain who we are in AAY and what we do before we move forward with the conversation, because people are like, oh, who are these white? Just over here dropping gems like she acts and does things like that. I mean, I'll add to that.
Sure.
So Nicole is an actress that she just stated, and my name's Molly Mall, in case you forgot at the top. And I'm a writer for AAY, and I'm also an actor. And you can tell I have a little bit of levity about me, and I'm a bit jovial, and I say things that might sound a little crazy. So expect that from me going forward in these podcasts. But it's a pleasure to meet you all. Mm-hmm. He said he was a CEO. She said she just is. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
I guess I'm a leader again. I do the administrative work for AAY and assist with some of, our writing and stuff. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
She does
a lot more.
I know.
A lot more.
She's an author.
If y'all need if y'all need an interior decorator, Alita would like to put her hat in the ring. But
wow.
Okay, well, it's looking like your turn. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I'm an actress. I'm an author. And that's pretty much it. You guys will keep knowing later on down. It's pretty long and extensive.
The list goes on and on and on.
Entrepreneur.
All right, I do have a question. As you were talking, I thought of something. And my question is, when trauma hits your life, how does that affect that person in the mirror? Like, we all go through things. And each thing that we go through affects who we are internally. Now, outwardly, I'm gonna let y'all explain that part.
Okay. Clockwise.
So yeah, we're gonna go with Nicole first, and then we'll go around.
Okay, so how does it affect us?
How does trauma affect you and the person when you look in the mirror?
Well, you try to keep a brave face. You know what you have to do. Most of the time, you know what you have to do, when that's what you do. And I just feel like, depending on what kind of trauma we're talking about, if I can share, I think the biggest trauma that I've gone through has been losing my father. That was my person.
Yeah.
That's who I could be me authentically around.
Right.
When I look in that mirror, oftentimes I'm on autopilot.
True.
Autopilot. I do what I have to do. He's done his job, before being called home. He's done his job. He's, in the heavens, partying and everything. And I really feel like in life, either you sit down, lie down, or you stand up and you keep going. That's right. You know what I mean? And that's the version of me that I like. I have my days, you know, I have every day, there's moments, you know, that I go through it, but you gotta get back on the grind. You know, you have to get back to your purpose, and you live and work through your purpose every day. You know, so yeah, sometimes it's like, girl, like I'm in the mirror, girl, all right, your 5 minutes is over. Now let's go. Let's get back to work.
Do you feel like that's tough for some people?
Yes.
I know it's tough for a lot of people to kind of go through that.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to piggyback a little bit off of what Nicole said, but for me, it was almost the same. Well, it was the same. Losing my father and losing my best friend, but with losing my father, it was kind of, you can prepare yourself for it. So I would pray every day because I needed the strength to get through these emotions and what's next to come and how am I going to feel. And basically, for me, it was like, oh, I can't break down in front of nobody because I can't. I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to actually let you see that I'm being vulnerable. So I had to like tell myself, okay, you gotta strengthen up a little bit. You gotta put this face on like you cool when you're really not. So yeah, that's pretty much what she said. You have to just put this mask on sometimes, and people don't know that you're what you're really going through on the inside because you're not letting them see how you're really feeling. But yeah.
And it's okay to cry in front of people.
It is.
But I get you. You do have that mask on. So trauma, to me, I look at trauma as a speed bump. It slows me down.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. I lost my mom, so I understand. I piggyback. It is an autopilot. You just go and go and go and go.
It's like a nonstop thing.
Your parents raised you. Who the best version of you should come out.
Yeah.
Right.
All that work and all that time, all that dedication that they put in you, that should shine through. You know, they made it where they need to make it to. They made it in heaven, you know, paradise, whatever you may call it. But they made it there, and we have to make that there.
Yeah.
So there's no time to slow down. You keep moving with your purpose. I totally agree, Nicole. Keep moving with your purpose, and that's it.
You can't. Now that's the one thing that a lot of people they let it get to them, and they just can't push through that trauma. And it doesn't matter if they go to therapy, it doesn't matter if they pray on it, I don't know what it is with that particular person. Maybe it's just in them that they're what's the word, they just
Sometimes
don't have it could be guilt, or they just don't have the strength to put up with a close family member leaving. And they really don't know how to deal with it like that. But then they have to, like for me, I had to look and was like, I have kids, I have a husband, and I have my own life. Like, my dad was here for a good time, and he enjoyed every bit of his time while he was here. So that's what I have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't get in this, what they call it, a drunken stupor. Is that what they call it? A drunken stupor, and just like, just not do nothing.
Shut down.
Yeah, shut everybody out. Like, you have to keep pushing. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going.
It's cozy though. You can get cozy in the studio. You're like, oh, is that heavy? Okay. I'm here for a little bit. Yeah. Trauma that I've gone through as an adult within the last 2 years. Y'all know I used to work for Comcast for 15 years, and then they let me go. And I was unaware that I was traumatized by that. So I was going through trauma, not knowing I was being traumatized by it, which led to me being the state that I'm not normally in, a state of depression.
Yeah.
Wow, me and
right.
Sitting in the house eating ice cream out the tub, just, living off my savings and all of that, wondering what I'm going to do next. And to be the kind of man that I am, where everybody kind of comes to me for support. Not being able to internally fulfill that role. I'm putting on the facade, the mask, pretending like it's okay to everybody else while I'm dying. I'm dying inside. And there's nobody I can turn to, or nobody I feel I can turn to kind of help or support me. Not that I know what kind of help or support that I need. And so I am constantly inflicting this trauma on myself over and over again until I become numb to it. And then at that point, then I can see, but while I'm still hurting from it, still feeling or reeling from it, I can't do anything. I'm spiraling out of control because I live with just my son, who's, he's a kid, and nobody else can help me. So I'm just in this stupor with my Henny. Just wallowing away and not really.
And anything can happen while you're drinking that
Anything
Henny.
can happen. But yeah, that look in the mirror that one morning when I became numb and I saw somebody I didn't recognize, and it was like, oh, this is not me. This isn't good. And at that point, I started to reach out to my community to help me kind of pull myself from out of the wonderful stupor. That I was in. And then the transition from the knowledge of self made it apparent that I needed to make that change.
Yeah. Man, for me, that's a tough question. Because when I lost my mom, I had to stay strong, right? Nobody sees it.
That's what you do.
Nobody knows. And then you know what comes after that? Oh, Daryl, you're so strong. How is it that you stay strong and you just lost your mom? How is it that you stay strong and you just lost somebody who was so close to you, somebody you knew for all of your life, right? I don't know. I don't know how I was strong at that moment. But over time, it eventually catches up with you. Because in that moment, I didn't know how to act. I felt like I had prepared for that moment because my mom was sick. And because she was sick, mentally, I took myself years to say, okay, she's sick. She's probably not going to be here. Let me get used to the idea that she will be gone. And when the funeral came, it was like, okay, it's here. I'm okay, right? I'm good. I dealt with it when she passed. I dealt with it during the funeral. Even a year passed, and I was fine. I was strong. A year and a half passed. I was fine. I was strong. And then my best friend dies. And then it's like, I kind of forgot about the mom part temporarily, because now I have to deal with this ball of new emotion with the best friend passing. And then it's the same thing that I have to do over again. All right, I'm strong. I gotta be strong. Daryl, how you stay so strong? You just lost somebody so close to you. Goodness, I don't know how you do it. It's like, I'm good because I couldn't prepare for this one. So am I really strong? Am I really handling this the right way? And the answer was no. And I realized that from that moment, maybe like 3 months after, I had to press the rewind button, and it kind of happened organically. It kind of just happened where it was like, dang, D, you lost your Miz, and now you lost your Biz. That's my best friend. Y'all ain't catch that.
We'll edit it.
But, that's the first time in my life. Now, of course, over time, we all deal with heartbreak. We all deal with heartache. We all deal with those emotions. But that is different when the two people who has the strongest influence on your life is gone. And you realize that you no longer have them to go to when hard times of your life come up. And you're asking yourself, how would they answer? And you only can go back on previous conversations or previous moments you spent with those people and say, okay, I remember they answered a similar question this way. But man, damn it, do I need to hear their voice right now? Damn it, do I have to get their perspective right now? How am I going to deal with this? Invisible person, can you help me? No. So now I'm left up to me to figure out what's the right way of doing things. And sometimes that me gives me the wrong answer because I'm only going to tell me what I want to hear. Right. I might not tell me the right thing to hear. Right? But I'm doing my best because I don't want other people, like you said, I don't want other people to see that I'm going through this. And so as I'm going through this situation, as I'm going through this stupor, right? I am dealing with Daryl's perspective only. Because when the therapy comes up, I'm not speaking to a therapist. Why should I do that? I know me better than anybody else, right? Then when another friend comes up, Daryl, you can talk to me. Can I? Then when a coworker comes, oh D, anything you going, bro, you can rely on me. Can I though? No, I don't think I can because I don't know you, right? If you're a friend, very close friend, still, you're not my best friend. Still, you're not my mother. Right. Those are the two people I went to when I was going through this. So now a new person comes into the fold. I got to rely on you to give me advice? I don't know. You know, so yeah, when you look into the mirror, when I look into the mirror, I ask those questions over and over again. Still to this day, I'm asking that question like, what would Nate say? What would Cindy say? I don't know because I'm not them and they're no longer here, you know, so.
So, you know, it's funny like you say, you know, can I talk to you? Can I have this conversation with you? Can I trust you with these feelings and thoughts? Strange thing for me happens because I'm a very personable person. I like to be social, and I'll sit and talk with a pedestrian walking down the street if the conversation's, you know, good enough. And I've met several people while working or just in passing that we would end up having a conversation, and in that moment get so comfortable that we start sharing some of the deeper part of our lives that we probably wouldn't even share with some of our siblings or friends. And I think it's because I don't know this person, and this person doesn't know me, that I can be as raw as I truly can be, and they receive it at face value.
Right.
And sometimes that's all you need. You just need somebody who doesn't know to just hear you out and not judge you based off of past and actions and things, because they don't know.
Right.
So the reactions of what you need now are going to be raw and direct, and sometimes that's what you need. And that's why going to your coworker or going to your friend might seem a little shady, because you know you're going to have a bias. You're going to have something that you know about me that's going to you know, shape what I'm telling you now.
Right.
You know. And so you get those, because I had the same thing when like I said, referencing my trauma when I lost my job. I didn't tell my mama. I didn't tell my mom because I wanted to stay strong. My mom had just had like a heart surgery, and a lot of things was going on in the family. We lost a few people, and was like, do I want to burden my mom with my trouble, with my woes? And she just got out of the hospital. Nah, I'm not gonna tell her. And I ain't tell her. Man. 9 months I ain't tell her. I was unemployed for 7. And like, now that I got a job again, hey, Mom, it was a little rough for a minute. But she was so mad at me for not trusting her with that. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and was like, why couldn't I trust my mom with something like that? Why couldn't I lean on her in that moment that I needed it? And it was something that forced up a different kind of trauma that I grew up with that I didn't know I had. But it was the fact that I'm the oldest son of 8. There's 8 of us. It's a whole squad. My mama had a team, right? And ever since I could desire things, I could not have. And so that was the norm. So the whole thing of not burdening my mother when there's other mouths to feed became a motif of mine. Right. It's something that I just, as the oldest brother, I need to do. I need to not put the weight of my own self on my mother and my siblings. So I grew up like that. And she challenged that. She said, I recognize that in you. I know that, and I apologize for making you have to grow up that way. And I didn't even know I needed to hear that. It was like, what is that?
The waterworks.
What are these words and these feelings? You see me? Like, she saw me, and I didn't think she did.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to put the weight on her, because it was never in me to do that. It was always instilled for me to just carry on and not be a burden to my family.
Right.
And that in itself is a trauma, because it forced me not to seek help when I needed it.
Right.
So forcing me to learn, I do need help.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to be comfortable asking for it from those closest and to me that love me.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So facing that man in the mirror, that was a lesson I learned. And this was like maybe over the last year and a half that I learned that lesson. I'm 43 years old, just learning some things. All right. I'm sharing with y'all now. Y'all part of my community. You see me crying, question it. Come see about me.
So the next question, is everybody good with that? We good?
Yeah.
So the next question is, moving on from facing the person in the mirror, how does that influence affect the people around you? Like I'll clear it up, learning from your trauma, those influences, how does it affect your relationship with other people? Because Maul just touched on it a little bit. But I want to hear from everybody, like those relationships that you hold dear to you now compared to the relationships we have lost. How do your traumas affect those relationships? Probably a really good question, by the way.
Yeah, spot you gotta give people some thinking time. Play some Jeopardy music.
Still gonna need time.
All right, can we use that though? Like
We can use.
Okay. We can roll.
There was no bop right there. There was a bop.
We're safe.
I personally, I feel seen. I feel like people take me more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I have an older sister. We're 5 years apart. That's my only sibling. I'm one of the, younger grandkids, the younger niece, the younger cousin. So they don't really hear you like that, But with me, like I said, my dad was that guy. My dad was that person. I did a lot of things on the strength of him. And that, you know what I mean? So I became that person that was kind of like, listen, the most important person to me is not here anymore. So do you think that I'm going to cower? Do you think that I'm going to stutter? Do you think that I'm going to waste my breath or my time with the nonsense? He let me be authentically me, and I love that feeling. And that's exactly what I'm going to be.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
It's the only way you gotta be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now people hear me. If I say no,
That's right.
Right.
oh,
No.
well, it's no. Why? Because no. They hear me.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to answer that yet. I'm
It's
still
okay.
trying to work.
We'll
still
come back
working on
around. It's all
Need
good.
another
Yeah,
little
you
song.
might have to come back tomorrow.
That was a deep one. That was a deep one, though, too.
I know.
Just gonna have to fade lead out.
I know for me, I've become very distant in a lot of ways in my life. I'm transparent by nature. That's just the person I am. I don't mind telling my story. There's parts of me emotionally that become cold. I've become cold, and unfortunately, I don't notice that I'm being cold to people that mean a lot to me at times. And I have become very cold, and I don't notice that person is there. When people try to come to me emotionally, I'm only thinking about my losses. Like, I'm there, I'll say things, but then in my brain, I'm like, dang, I lost something too. Because you're telling me this, I have to mentally go back to the people I lost. As you're telling me your story, I am there with you, but thinking about that person that I lost.
Back up everything.
You know what I mean?
That's empathy.
Yeah.
You're feeling it, and then those feelings allow you to tap into what it is that makes you feel that way.
But then I'm removed from what you're going through. And I don't want to
Back
be
to
that
yourself,
person,
right.
So you just have to pray on that. Seriously, you really do. You have to pray and ask for that to be removed, because for me, I feel like I love hard on everybody that I come acquainted with, that I vibe with. Because I get vibes off of people, and if I'm not feeling it, if I feel I'm going to step away, I'm not even going to let you get close.
Yeah.
But if I feel it, I'm going to mess with you.
Right.
Like this one.
Right.
So I feel like you can't, even though you've lost that person, you can't bring that into the new. Because it's always just going to be something in the back of your head, like I can't love this person the way I used to love this person. I'm going to love you regardless. If I love you hard. I rock with you all day. None of that is ever going to change. And I think because I really just pray on that all the time, just pray on that strength and not letting people that we have lost or my loved ones that I have lost, change me as a person. Because again, we still have to live. We still have to be here. You can't put that on somebody else.
Right.
So, because when you start going back, thinking about that, then you looking at this person like, oh, I don't want to give you all that I really can give you because what if you leave me?
Correct.
Right.
So I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to sit this close to you because if I get this close to you, you going to leave me like the other ones left me. You don't want to do that. You can't do that.
Which then pushes people away.
Right.
You know, it pushes the people away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I have a question, y'all. When people come to you, right, with their stuff, having gone through your own trauma, your own changes, right, do you ever just take what those other people are bringing to you as a welcome distraction? Do you welcome that? You know what I mean?
Right.
I would think it would have to be like depending on the severity of what it is they're bringing to you.
Okay.
Because life is still lifing for you. So you could be going through something that you might not have the patience for a certain type of topic or circumstance. You know, if you got, you're running a daycare and you got your own kids and one's in jail and the other one got locked up and somebody's calling you, can I borrow $500? What? You better get out of here. Put you in the face for $500. You know what I'm going through? No, so.
You said one's in jail and the other one gets locked up.
My family is very. We got a lot going on all the time, okay? Like, I got one cousin, he in jail, he be like, yo, what's your ESPN password? How you get access to ESPN in jail, dog?
That's crazy.
It's 11 o'clock at night. You're supposed to be asleep. But the password is, I'm still giving it to you. I hope it don't come back. It's against the law to give people your password. No, it ain't.
Yeah, all right.
But I guess, again, it depends on the severity of what it is that's they're bringing to you and what is happening in your own life to, weigh what you can tolerate or what you can't. I can say for certain, like, I'm the go-to, for a lot of things in my family. So they'll come to me. Usually it's financial. And it's like, Mom, I need $250. I'm trying to go buy a new broom or whatever the crap is. I'm like, I don't even want to hear the excuse, the reason. If I have it, you got it. And if you say you're going to pay me back, this is where it's going to get interesting. Because if you ain't got my money, then your credit's going to be mad. I'm not going to loan you any money.
That's right.
So, so it's a lot of different things that, could come with that. But usually when it's family, people I care about, they know they can come to me. And depending on who it is, I know if it's some BS or not. Right. And it's like, okay, I'm prepared to handle that. But, if I'm dealing with things with my son, he takes precedent over everything. So if this is more important, then everybody is kicked to the curb until I'm done.
Before I answer that question, I'm going to go back to the question that Dee asked. I agree with you. I'm the youngest. And everybody do come to me, though. And they listen to me. I feed life into people. So I've always been like that. And I want everybody to succeed, to motivate. So if I see something in you, I'm going to push you regardless. And that loved one that I lost, she want me to push. And I'm going to continue to push.
That's right.
Push. Like I pushed this one, right? Push. I'm going to push everybody. I love you. You going to succeed. We going to succeed
Push.
together.
It's all in the mic.
Push, baby. Push. Come on in. Yes. And some people may look at your question as a distraction if somebody comes to you with certain things. And if they're going through a lot, maybe it's like a walk in the park for them, whatever they're going through, to answer like, oof. Let mine go over here to the side. Yes, girl. Let me tell you how I can help you do that. And it may be a distraction. Just I call it speed bumps. Slow yours down for a little. Yeah.
That kind of, see, when you said it now I'm thinking of when my homies used to be like, yo, call me in 20 minutes so I can get off the phone. Make sure it's real serious. So like, what, yo? Like, yo, I gotta go because my cousin who just got locked up is back in jail. He needs my ESPN password in his hand right now. Like, I gotta go.
I gotta tell you, so music is a big influence on my life. So those moments that I spoke about earlier, I got one song that I go to is Float on. You know that song? When I hear that song, it allows for me to push forward. And tears usually follow that song. Everything becomes different when you do look in the mirror because you have a vision of who you want to be. Right? You have this idea of the person you want to be. And those influences that we talked about, they kind of make up the mold, right? For who you are. And then you say, man, I really don't like the person that I am. So let me keep looking in the mirror because that's who I want to be, right? And so you start thinking about different ways to change yourself, different people you can connect with, different topics you can kind of study or whatever, right? So that's where that's what happened to me in about 2022, 23, right around that time where I started asking myself, like, Daryl, who do you want to be? Like, what changes do you need to make to become the influence that you want to be for other people? You know, like that positive, motivating individual that I've always been, I had to multiply that person. I couldn't just be that person at one given time in my life. I had to be that person all the time, you know? And that's not easy to be. Because as we talked about, all those hurts and all those pains that we go through, all those people that you affect every day, you got to be multiple people because you don't know who you're going to run into today. You don't know who you're going to run into tomorrow. But you got to be somebody different. You got to wear different hats, you know? And I'm learning that now because then if I think about that, I am not that individual who only think about the things that I am going through. That's where those multiple hats kind of come in because now I can say, okay, Daryl, your name is Jerry today. Be Jerry for this individual. You know, Daryl, you might want to be Rich today. Be Rich for said person. You know what I mean? I've learned to be that. Now when it's time to come back into Daryl, then it's time to come back into Daryl and deal with whatever Daryl has to deal with, which is the reason why I believe therapy is very important.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You know, because now I've been Jerry, I've been Rich. I have to be Daryl, and now Daryl has to be worked on, you know? So who do I go to help Daryl out? Because I was Jerry, I was Rich, but dang, I got to leave Rich and Jerry behind because without Daryl, there's no Jerry and there's no Rich, you know? So I'm sorry.
Well, sorry for what?
No. I didn't know if y'all had anything else to say, you know? Yeah.
That just did make me think of this analogy that I was thinking about. Where they said all day long, Superman is doing superhero stuff. He's saving people's lives, and he's stopping traumatic events from happening. And then at the end of the day, he puts on the costume of Clark Kent. In order for him to have any peace or of normalcy, he has to become somebody that he is not.
Wow.
And that person that he becomes is meek, quiet, reserved. Everything opposite of what Superman is. And that's for him to have peace, to be able to fit into the world that he lives in. He has to conform to be something lesser. And I saw that and I was like, do we conform to be lesser to make the world comfortable around us?
That's strong.
And I'm like, when I look in the mirror, I never want to be that. If I'm from Krypton and I'm super all day long, that's who I am. On the clock all day long, whether I want it or not. I'm tired. This is my true self. Love me, hate me. This is you gonna deal with me.
I say that every day. Don't I, Kate?
You do.
I promise you somebody gonna like it.
Yeah, no, because what you see in me is what you get 24/7. I don't change for nobody. I don't care what color you are, what shape you are, what size you are. What you see here is what you get. And a lot of people don't like that I'm a very truthful, honest person. So when I speak something to you,
Preach, baby, preach.
they don't like it. And
I love
I'm like,
it.
okay, that's on you.
Tell
Because
me
I'm
about
just going to
myself.
tell you the truth.
That's right.
So,
Yeah. Trip over your feet once, shame on whatever I tripped over. Trip over my feet twice, all right, that's on me. You know? So, man, time flies, y'all. Time flies. It's already 4:56. Before we get off of here, what we didn't talk about AAY, is why we put together this organization. So I want to kind of get into that before we hop off. The reason why we feel so passionate about AAY, everybody at this table, the reason why everybody at this table feels passionate about AAY is because we want to affect the community in a very positive way, right? And we're trying to be unique in what we're doing. So we do our best to sit back and look at what's happening and become different and affect the community in a different way. And I'm glad to say we had some events that we put together last year that we're excited about. We started April 23rd of last year, everybody. Clap it up. And we just passed our first anniversary, right? And so here we are. We got some things cooking as AAY, right? We got some things cooking that we're excited to unroll here pretty soon. But we also still want to make sure that we're out in the community and doing the things that we need to do to positively affect the community. And so those gender discussions that we had, that brings or that highlights some things that we're going through in our community, but also as individuals, we're still going to be having those. We're going to have those, what was it called? Fish Fry Entertainments. I'm looking forward to our next Fish Fry Entertainment. We'll be having some stage plays, which we're really excited about. Some short films that's going on that we're really excited about. But a lot of other things are coming too. And so these are the things that AAY has coming up, and we're really excited. But I want you guys to speak about how it's affecting you, like this idea of AAY being AAY being really all about the community and how we're going to affect the community. We all look at Mom. Oh, you're next.
We like, which way you start?
You're next.
I don't mind speaking. I do this. I talk to children. So. What did Warren Sapp say? He's like, lock the door.
Lock the door. No, Marvin Sapp. Not the football player. He'll run through the door.
Close the door. You're going to get 40 grand out of all you. AAY, when you presented the opportunity for me to be a part of AAY, I thought it was a fantastic idea. I thought it was unique. I believe in the mission that we need to support each other, tell each other's story, and uplift each other.
Yes.
And to be able to have a hand in that struck me. And it also gave me an opportunity to flex my ability to write and be creative, which, I think we anyone that is a creative strives to do.
Yes.
And you need a target to shoot for. And what AAY provides me is a target, a mission to shoot for, something to work towards. I think any relationship that you have in anything, whether it's friendship, people, programs, there needs to be a vision to shoot for, to follow. Yeah. And it keeps you on pace. It keeps you on track. And joining AAY gave me those steps, gave me that path, the 1, 2, 3 steps to move towards being able to be creative and facilitate my ability to create.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But when D asked me to be a part, I said no. My first answer, I said no.
She did.
I said I have a lot to do. No, he said, wait, let me give you the mission. Let me give you the mission. I totally agreed with it. I suckered me in. And I was like, yes, anything for our community, I'm all for it. Let's support these youth, because these children today needs help.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we are here. We're trying to change one child at a time. If we can reach one child at a time, we did our job.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it, of course.
Through storytelling and through a lot of other things that we got coming up.
We have so much stuff coming up, so I'm all for the run.
Yeah.
I'm just going to piggyback off of what this one just said. Pretty much when he asked me to be a part of it, even though I'm not doing a whole lot of what they're doing.
Here we go.
She's doing a lot.
When we speak about the community and the kids, the children, that played a big part for me. Just wanting to help these kids get in a better path, because they are not where they should be at these days. So, like she said, if we can just help one kid at a time, that will mean a lot for us.
Yeah.
Well, it was the vibe for me.
The vibe.
The whole family.
Let's vibe. Grab hands.
Yes. Yeah, so being the last one in, I guess. I said, they closed the door on me, y'all. But no, just being able to observe and just feel the energy and to hear the mission.
Yeah.
You know, I was so excited that there was actually an organization that looked like me.
Yeah.
Hey.
My age and all of that stuff that was out there, that is out there. Giving back and pouring into. And, you know, I knew Yanni before I met you all. And I got to tell y'all, from the moment that I met Yanni, like the energy.
Oh, for sure.
I was like, that's my sister friend right there.
Yeah.
You know, so to feel that expanded by 4, by 5, y'all can't see. You know what I'm saying? It was everything. And, you know, community, even not just the little children, but some of the grown children, they need a little help too.
Yep.
We all need help, right? So to be able to have a vehicle to be able to do that is just outstanding to me. So I'm excited to be a part. Thank you, y'all, for extending that. Thank you. All that stuff.
So, I came up with AAY Podcast about 2 years ago, and I started on my own. I wanted to make sure that I promoted businesses, right? That was the first thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that small businesses had a voice. It wasn't a lot of podcasts out there that was talking to small businesses about their story, their upbringing, and then how they sustain. Wasn't a lot of podcasts that did that. So that's where the idea originated. And then it went into, I ran into a young man who was a singer, and he felt like he kept running against a brick wall. He had nowhere to go. He had nobody to talk to. He had nothing but his talent. And then I introduced him to an organization here in Philadelphia, and that organization started working with him, but then shut the door on him. And I didn't feel okay. I wasn't okay with that. And I didn't have anything. That's the frustrating part for me. I didn't have anything to offer this person outside of that connection with that organization. So now I'm sure that individual, because I don't speak to that individual anymore, I'm sure that individual has an idea about me that's not positive because that happened, right? I mean, the phone was off, straight voicemail. You know what I mean? When I tried to reach out to this individual. That being said, I said, okay, if offered the opportunity to do this again, what level can you do it on, right? Now, of course, we're an upstart. And so this is an outcry to our community, you guys, to help AAY out, right? Because we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way, but we can't do it without the community, which is the reason why we are talking about the community specifically. Because if we do this together, what they say about the village thing.
It takes a village.
It takes a village, right? AAY is opening the doors. Now, we got 5 core people. We're probably not looking to grow outside of our 5 core people, but we have more than 1 billion people out there who's willing to help us. Like, we're going to post our Cash App. So if you guys want to donate, you can donate to our Cash App directly. We are creating over again our podcast to talk about some things that's going to affect the community in a positive way. We have our AAY Facebook fan page that you guys can subscribe to. Then we have our Instagram page, and all that stuff will be posted. And we have our YouTube page, which all our podcasts will be posted on. And you guys will be able to share this to many people. People who need healing. People who need an opportunity to act, to sing, to do what they love to do. They can even tell their story to AAY, and we can create a platform for their voices to be heard. And that's what AAY wants to do for you guys, the community. If you have a story to be told, we would love to hear your story. We would love to help you facilitate telling your story and making that, who knows, a film, making that, who knows, a stage play, making that, who knows, a podcast. So we would like or a book. So we would like the opportunity to help you guys with that. And that being said, I feel like this is an awesome first episode
Yeah,
of All
definitely.
About You podcast.
Yes.
Yes. It is great to be sitting here with Jamal.
Molly Mall.
It is great to be sitting here with Queen Yanni.
Yes.
It is great to be sitting here with Alita. It is great to be sitting here with Nicole.
Yes.
And as we close this chapter out, I'm going to say God bless all of you who are watching this podcast. Peace, love, boom!
And it is great to
We
be
out.
sitting here with Daryl.
Daryl.
Yes.
And I'm feeling good.